Hey, welcome back to the Virgo channel. My name is Laura. If you're new to the channel, I'm going to do a general message for you. Know that energy is fluid, roles could be reversed. Always interpret the message as it best resonates with you. Also, know on this channel, I like to dive deep, so I do look at the spiritual blocks, the shadows, see how they play out as karmic themes, along with everything else. If you want to enter into winning free reading with me, you gotta like the video, subscribe to the channel, write the word of the video in your comment bar. The word of the video is always the first card that I pull out from this deck. It tells me where to start, and it also tells me what the underlying energy is, meaning why is everyone doing what they're doing. Now, I do have a person in mind when I am doing this reading. It's for one of my winners. I was actually supposed to put this video up a few days ago, but I have not had the time. However, as I said, you may resonate with this as well because that's how energy works. We always get what we need, right? That's what happens. We don't necessarily get what we want. We get what we need. It just tends to come in a pretty package, so that we kind of get tricked into wanting it, right? All right, let's see what that underlying energy is. It is sorrow and sadness. So, if you're curious about whether or not your person's sad or not, obviously they are sad that it didn't work out. And I'm kind of feeling like this person got triggered. I feel like whatever you said to them, and it didn't even need to be anything like, hey, you need to change or anything like that. It could have just been, do you want to go somewhere? Do you want to do something? Or something triggered this person. And it's mainly because they have a lot of unhealed wounds from a past relationship. It's like they tend to not like to work through their issues. And you might say, well, this person hasn't dated someone in a year. Well, it doesn't matter. We're energy. And, a person can not grow their entire life. And growing means they stay in the same level of consciousness. And their level of consciousness is, I really can't have love. And it's like, because this person really was loving. So, Virgo, I feel like you are someone that they know is of high quality. It's someone that they know that they had a spiritual connection with. It's someone that they know. But it almost like triggered them. And it triggered them just again because of their past relationships. I feel like, again, like you could ask the simplest thing, like, and this person like would would read into it like, what are you saying, that I don't take you anywhere? Are you saying what I do for you isn't enough? Are you saying, should I do more for you? It's almost like their head chatter is too much for them. And that's really what happens. This person gets so overstimulated that they can't perform. It's like, what should I do? What should I do? It's like, is it irritant? A little bit, but that irritant isn't because of you, it's because of how they feel about themselves. So it all goes back to themselves. But the word that you're going to put is sorrow and sadness. So that is um, where they are right now. Now let's just see some of the shadows before we jump in and the triggers. Like, this is again in a hurry, like always, like almost as if this person tends to have be in a very not grounded when they were with you, a sense that they were always in their head, always needed to do something, always needed to seem busy, always needed, and that's a sign that they're not, again, comfortable with themselves. That's a sign of anxiety. And so the thing is that when a person is running around, they're always thinking about what they need to do next, what they need to do next. And that might have just been them in their head ruminating when you were with them, when you were like, I don't really feel like you're here. They wouldn't be the here because they would be, again, thinking of what they need to have to do next. And it's a manic energy, and it's a form of anxiety. And it's because, again, the wounds that haven't been healed. And so I also feel as if this person, like when you're rushing around, you're not in your body, you're in your head. Think about what you need to do. So you would say something and they would get triggered because they were coming from the level of consciousness of the past relationship, reacting and responding, only hearing through the distorted perceptions of their wounds. So that's the thing, it comes out in their behavior. So, like rushing around, and I feel like this separation helps this person like tap into themselves. And it's something that, again, they are actually afraid to do. That's what happens when people have a lot of anxiety. They go up in their head, they go into survival mode. They don't say, oh, let me open up my heart. So, in separation, this person has a lot of time to like reflect. I hid my real thoughts and feelings from you. I was in denial and afraid of losing you. I see clearly now. So, and this card isn't even in the deck, just so that you know that's a card that's not even supposed to be in this deck. So I think that that's again that this person doesn't feel comfortable in who they are. And that's what happens a lot of times when you go through a relationship that's very traumatizing, and you've invested, and now you're looking at your life the way that, the way that that person sees you, that traumatized you in that relationship that you gave so much to. So this person almost felt like, I'm not good enough for you. I don't want to really show my true feelings. I don't really want to let my guard down. And it's like, because if I don't, I can't lose you if I don't invest in you. I can't lose you if I don't really, it's a way of avoiding. It's almost like the ego does that to say, see, you're not a loser because this person didn't leave you. But the real belief is that this person's going to lose you, is the whole point. Lack of will. So it's again, it's almost like needed incentive, needed incentive. That's which is what you felt like, well, how come I feel like this relationship didn't go where it should have? And that's because you have to be able to go with the flow of life. This person not feeling good in themselves needed control. And so it's like I got far enough and then I bailed. And then I bailed. You know what? I want to use this deck. Let me just see. I want to use this deck because I want to see what if we can go deeper, or what type of relationship, or what are they thinking now? Because what I would see if I was in your situation is them not doing that much, but you can read into it as if you don't like me, because there's a lack of will, there's a lack of effort, there's a lack of trying to fix it, there's a lack of, and where it's like, no, I feel like it's their insecurity, that it's their, I can't lose if I don't invest. It's a way of control. So we have to say, I'm seeing synchronicity as like your name or one-on-one and working out what they mean. So this is a spiritual connection. And I say that because I don't feel like this person normally is in that right brain part of their mind. They're more in the left brain analytical part of their mind, the survival part of their mind. But the time apart, like they can't help but to, think about think about you, because there really is a spiritual connection. It's not like there wasn't one. This person just refused to give it its all because of past situations, got triggered, pulled away, ended it. So where I don't know whether ended it or just didn't give it any more effort, which was like a form of it. But what they're seeing is that there still is a connection. And the spiritual connection is really what is helping them like tap back into themselves, back into their heart, not their head. When our conversations are lighthearted and playful, it eases the tension that is sometimes there when we talk. See, I feel like this person hears again through the distorted perception of their wound. It's not really what you're saying. If you come across confident, this person may perceive it as if you're angry, or as if you don't really like them, or as if there's something wrong. But that's because they feel as if there's something wrong with them because they haven't done the healing. So we see what we look for, we hear what we listen for. And so again, what happens is when you like someone and it gets overwhelming, you can't control it. And that's what this person was like, starting to be like, I can't control my feelings for you. So it's almost like sabotaging behavior, it looks like. Don't listen to other people, trust yourself to know the truth. So I feel like that's a thing. This person is really unsure of themselves. And because they're unsure of themselves, they ask for advice. And so a lot of times the people that they're asking advice don't have your person's best interests, or they're just like, thinking that your person doesn't really mean it. There's a sense of your person just not feeling confident in themselves because of the past relationships. And that probably didn't come from the past relationship. It probably came from their inner child, wounds. And so when we don't heal, we attract. And when we attract, they play out as karmic themes. And this karmic theme that this person continues to live is, I can't have love. I can't have it. And I'm sad because I want it. But it never really works out because they're not conscious of what they do or why that's happening. There are messages being exchanged through music and movies. Again, it's like the synchronicities of the universe again and again and again are really helping this person to tap into their heart, not their mind, to get out of your mind. It's like that's where the trauma is. It's like you only know what you've lived, and that's what you're going to embody, that energy, but that's not real. That was the past. Only in the now do you have divine guidance, and that divine guidance comes through synchronicities and signs, and again, messages. And sometimes those are messages like I was just walking on the street and I heard someone say something, but it was that phrase, that word, or I saw a sign, or I saw a symbol, and that my own intuition led me. And it led me because my heart was what led me, because my heart is attached to my third eye and I can see myself. This person is again like looking for answers because they're like sad. They're like, again, there's depressed, sad, sorrow, because that's what happens when we feel like we can't have love, when we feel that we're a failure. I feel insecure and it's pushing me to grow. We need to wait for divine timing. Time is healing our wounds and creating the perfect condition for our reunion. I feel like your person doesn't know that word, like divine timing. Like I feel like the person is like learning to heal. So they're entering into like the heart and, discovering spirituality. And I feel like you're someone that is spiritual and that's helping them, that's actually pulling them. But it's like they're like, I need to wait. Like there's a sense like I'll know when the right time is. And it's when they feel that they're ready, it doesn't really have anything to do with you. They may think that it does, but I think intuitively they say, I'll know when I'm ready to, and the relationship will can actually make it because I can feel like I can do what it takes to maintain the relationship, especially if the person sabotaged the connection to begin with. And they, again, divine timing. So it's almost like I don't know, my intuition, God, the universe. There's a sense of healing like all around. And this person feels that and that feels connected and comfortable to you. I'm triggered and old patterns have surfaced and it hurts. And that's what this connection is doing for this person. Again, making them go back to the first one. So if you're saying, well, what the hell is that person doing in separation from me? They're healing and they're healing that first and foremost. And remember, when we heal on the inside, it manifests on the outside as being able to obtain more money, to create more stability, to create. And this person knows intuitively they want to come back when they're going to be secure enough in themselves. But this shit has to happen. They have to be triggered. Triggers of abandonment, triggers of feeling not good enough, triggers of, again, of all their insecurities that they haven't healed, their wounds. And that's what I said. But you being a separation from this person allows them to do that healing. That is this a conscious thing? No, I think that it's, again, it's intuitive that spirit works through the environment to bring us people. And then the karmic situations that play out allow us to look at ourselves, to allow us to look at people through a different perception, to be able to see. And there are spiritual lessons that lead us to the Christ consciousness, which is unconditional love. So it's forgiveness, compassion, courage, self-sacrifice. I mean, there's a lot of spiritual traits and they're hard. They're hard to embody all the time, especially when we're feeling of lack, limitation, feeling not good enough. So if there's unconditional love there from you, it's like I said, you're holding space, even though you're separating from this person. I long ago shut down those parts of me that wanted love, romance, and intimacy, but you make me long for those things again. So, I mean, this is a love story. This is a healing love story right here. I mean, that makes that one that is divine because the person is changing. They're healing, but they didn't believe that they were deserving of love. They didn't believe that they could have love. So that's why I said when I look at the triggers and see, I mean, what did they do in the past? I mean, but we should leave the past in the past, but we're going to just look because we want to look at the shadows. So it is dominate. So I felt like I had no sense of control over my choices because you wanted to dominate me. That's the filter. Like I said, whatever you asked, you could have asked like the simplest thing, and then on top of it, they feel dominated in that, like you're trying to control them, and you're like, and you feel like you're kind of dominating me like in a passive aggressive way because you keep shutting me down. Like you're not like it's a way to control, like by you like deflecting and like hearing everything through that perception of that I'm criticizing or judging you or controlling you to manipulate you. It's like that makes me eventually not want to say anything. So it's a way that you're deflecting, it's a way that you're manipulating me, where you're controlling me because we have this connection. It's like I don't want to be in a connection the way that you want to be in the connection because the connection isn't real. That's pretty much what I feel here. That's so you were like, this isn't, I don't know what this is that you're trying to do. And what the person was trying to do was control the relationship, but the focus was on it's not working out. It's not going to work out, but not because of anything that you were doing. That was that person's reality due to, again, their past experiences. Expectations. So it's again, I feel like you're like, and this person knows that, you had expectations of me, and you had expectations of them, Virgo. And I believe that they also had expectations of you, where they expected you to be perfect. They expected you to be self-serving. They expect you not to say anything because there was such a deep connection. Yeah, and where you like I had expectations because we have this connection that you would have done the right thing. Two different vibrations because this person's on a lower vibration because of how they feel about themselves. They're healing themselves. They're also seeing that you had to have expectations of me, and now I see that I I didn't follow through, but I needed to see what I did and why I did it before, and that couldn't happen without these triggers that are happening while you're in separation. See how, like, when we don't rush things and there's really unconditional love, the person figures it out, that we don't have to interfere. That's what it means. If you love someone, set them free. If it's yours, they'll come back. And a lot of times people get mad and say, that person shouldn't have had to leave. But the truth of the matter is that when a person's wounded, it says more about them than it does you. It opens your wounds. It makes you look at yourself as you're defective, but it's only because that was there before them. See, we're down here to be clear conduits for spirit, God to work through that supernatural power that we all have, our spiritual sovereignty, to be able to create our own heaven on earth, to be able to, you know, manifest whatever we want. If you can imagine it, you can create it. We all know the secret. Um, but if you have blocks everywhere, then you can't manifest. And this person wasn't manifesting anything. They were stuck in the past, stuck in a past situation, and even though you were being nice and everything, it didn't matter. If anything, it triggered this person more. So obviously having expectations you would be. However, this person's like loves enough to look. And so I think that realistically, when a person surrenders their ego, they show unconditional love. They show change behavior. They're going to show change behavior. It's up to us to hold to the standard and not to accommodate. This in this story, it's that you're not you didn't accommodate, even though that there was a connection. It's like you're showing me whatever you're showing me, and I'm gonna have to go by that too. It was actually a head over heart decision, which is not like you, Virgo. That's not easy for you to do. Kept out. That's like you didn't let me in. It's like, and so that was a trigger of abandonment, triggering my insecurities. So you're only caring about yourself. And so again, they're having to look at all that now. They're having to see all that now. And that's, it's not the easiest thing to do. So let's see what they're going to do. And let's see why you attracted this person into your life and what wounds you're going to need to integrate if you want to be with this person. That kind of just wants to come out. I'm sorry. I betrayed your trust. I turned my back on you when you needed me the most. So I feel like this person's insecurity made them not around for you. Some of you, like, again, wanted someone there, wanted, like, obviously, if there's such a soul connection, deep connection, you want that person to be in your life when you're going through things. And so I feel like this person, like, again, I was only considering my own pain. I did never thought. So they're moving out of that ego and selfishness and, into, again, that heart space. I'm living the consequences of my bad choices. I lost you now. I'm desperate to get you back. Again, this is the surrendering of the ego. People don't just change. They don't just want to come back. They have to see your worth. So if you were worried, yes, they're sorry. There's sadness. No one loves me like you do. I'm ready to commit to you and our beautiful future. So I feel like this person, like, their main thing is, I feel like they needed to go through completely completely losing you to, like, really feel like, oh my God, like, I'm really suffering. I really don't want to live, like, loveless. I don't want to be sad. I don't want to, I want to deserve love too. And so, but they had to surrender their ego. They had to allow it. They weren't allowing it. So I feel like they're making their way back, but there's a real they're still doing healing, but they're what it is it's like they've made the decision that I want us to be together. However, like, I don't know where they are in their healing process because it looked like they were still healing. So we have to say, why did you attract this person? Patience may be one thing. Um, Vulnerability, taking this person back, you're going to have to be vulnerable. And it allows this person to be vulnerable. I mean, they have to open up their heart in order for you to let them in. And that would be a spiritual, like, inner childhood wound that they would definitely need to heal because their behavior tells you that they didn't let you in, but that's because they've got hurt. Is, again, someone taught them not to be open. Someone told them, again, made them not feel good about themselves. And I feel that that happened in childhood. And that's why they attracted the relationships that they did. That's why the relationships played out the way that they did. So to trust, especially after they haven't trusted, it's like they've come to this place of, I have no choice. I have to be vulnerable. And you too, I have to be vulnerable. I have to, if I love this person, I have to, like, let them into my life, even though they can hurt me. Unworthy, made to feel unworthy. So if you were made to feel unworthy, again, there's a part of you that feels unworthy. This person made you feel unworthy. This person feels unworthy themselves. That wound didn't just come. Again, this is why they felt like they weren't deserving of love. That's why they manifested what they're manifesting. That's why the spiritual uh, lesson would be vulnerability. I need to be open. My heart needs to be open, not just for the relationship, but to really create. Because God is the expression of unconditional love. It's the energy of love. And that's without ownership or expectation. It just is. And this person had to come to a place of, hey, God, I love you and I didn't like, and I really can't control this. And though it's so uncomfortable, it's so uncomfortable. And that's because they hadn't looked at any of that shit that happened. And it's like baggage, bringing tons of baggage into the next relationships. Gifts. And I feel like this person's very intuitive and sensitive as well as you are. And I feel like it enhanced that part of them where it opened up their intuitive gifts because it forced them to see, they saw the signs and synchronicities. They moved out of that heart, that head, uh, logical, analytical into the heart space, which is where spirit is. So they found their gifts. And I feel like the time apart, you had to put into yourself, Virgo. You had to put into yourself and you find your gifts. You find those uncovered where you had trauma of how you felt about yourself. When you invest in yourself, you find your gifts, you begin to see yourself differently. You begin to shape shift your situation. And both are healing rage. And obviously, if we don't feel like we're deserving of love, nothing good happens. Nothing good ever happens. And understand if we were perceived to not be lovable in childhood, we were brought up by very angry parents. That's what this story really is saying. It's that Virgo, you had, in a sense, were brought up by a parent that was very angry, and so was your person. And when that happens, the child feels inadequate, feels not lovable. And so what I see is this person went out and tried to have relationships, but those same karmic themes of feeling unlovable and not good enough played out, and as they did for you and with each other. However, in this story, this person, there really is unconditional love, and unconditional love is what changes people. But however, it's going to take a lot of vulnerability on both parts. And that's not as easy said as done, especially when we've gotten hurt. So I'm going to ask one more question, which is what energy should we pull in to raise that vibration to the highest if we decide to be with this person? Is there anything else that we should know? Oh, two. All right, I'll take it. Action, my divine action ignites love and harmony. I am aware of my thoughts and driven by positive force. I listen to my heart. My desire is to manifest light, transform tests into growth, challenges into opportunities, and fear into love. So Spirit's saying, feel like you and this person is supposed to do something together, again, to find balance in each other, because that's really what harmony is. And that to be aware of what you're thinking, because obviously the thoughts that you think create the emotions that you have. And so you don't want that. You want to be driven by positive forces. And that only happens when we listen to our heart. And so you might have to take time out to be able to listen to the higher self. And that's by meditating. And that your desire to manifest light, and that's anything that you love, any contribution, and transform tests into growth, challenges into opportunities, because again, as you're manifesting, you're going to come across challenges. However, those challenges help you connect to other people and situations and opportunities that change your mind and your heart. That's where the growth comes into play. And fear into love, because everybody has blocks of fear of inadequacy, fear of not being good enough, fear of abandonment, fear of spirit will help you transmute those energies, because we can't just get rid of negative energy. We can only integrate that energy, and that's through grounding and doing. But two came out. That never happens, by the way. In divine light, I'm an expression of love, and I shine like the sun. My inner light is my strength and my treasure. My intuition guides me to discover the wonder and goodness of who I am. So again, it's to always be the vibration of love by doing what you love. I am an expression of love, and I shine like the sun by doing what you love. you will again bring in positive energy. You will attract, you will be in that energy with that you'll be fulfilling yourself, happy on your own. And so you will only be able to maintain harmony within your relationship. And when you're in happy and balanced, you are being led by your intuition. And when you're discovering yourself, it's because you're growing yourself and you're interacting with other people, like I said, through the action that you take. So you discover the wonders and the goodness of who you are. And that's really what heals your shadows. This is really how we get to see ourselves differently. Otherwise, we never see ourselves differently. We stay in the same karmic experiences. So I'm going to leave that there for you, Virgo. I'll talk to you all soon. Hope you resonated. Bye.